the width of this is the margin by which Lewis Hamilton has been disqualified.
Unfortunate, but very, very hard to keep up with the guys ahead. But
Ferrari's 2025 Formula One season has begun with disappointment rather than dominance. 3 races in, and the prestigious Italian team finds itself struggling to match the pace of McLaren and Red Bull. For Lewis Hamilton, who made the high-profile switch to Ferrari this season, the reality has proven far from the dream scenario many envisioned. The Scuderia currently sits 4th in the Constructors' Championship with a mere 35 points, a whopping 76 points behind leaders McLaren. What's going wrong at Maranello, and why did Hamilton look so shocked after the Japanese Grand Prix when discussing what Ferrari had discovered about their car? Let's dive into the technical crisis that's plaguing Ferrari and threatening to derail their season before it's truly begun. The numbers tell a sobering story. After 3 races, Ferrari has failed to secure a single podium in any Grand Prix. Their sole bright spot came when Hamilton claimed victory in the China sprint race, a performance that makes their Sunday struggles all the more perplexing. Team Principal Fred Vasseur has acknowledged the team's difficulties, though he's attempting to maintain a positive outlook. Speaking after the Japanese Grand Prix, he said, "I'm used to it because the last 2 years we started like this. For sure it is not ideal, and I would prefer to win the first one. But we don't need to change the approach from last year as we are almost in the same situation, perhaps a bit worse in terms of pace, and the reaction of the team was very, very strong." Vasseur estimates Ferrari is lagging behind the frontrunners by 2 to 3 tenths behind pole position and perhaps 2-3 tenths behind in the race. While this gap might seem small on paper, in Formula One terms, it represents a significant performance deficit, one that's proving difficult to overcome. The results reflect this gap clearly. At Suzuka, Charles Leclerc could manage only 4th place, while Hamilton finished a distant 7th. These performances followed a disastrous Chinese Grand Prix where both Ferrari drivers were disqualified. Hamilton for an excessively worn plank, and Leclerc for falling below the minimum weight requirement. At the heart of Ferrari's problems lies a fundamental technical challenge: ride height. In modern Formula One, with its ground effect aerodynamics, how close a car runs to the ground dramatically affects performance. The lower the car, the more downforce generated, but this comes with significant risks. Hamilton's disqualification in China exposed Ferrari's dilemma. The FIA found that the plank thickness on his SF25 was less than the permitted 9 millimeters, a direct consequence of running the car too low. This violation highlights the delicate balance Ferrari is struggling to achieve. After the Japanese Grand Prix, Hamilton revealed something that shocked many observers. Speaking to the media, he stated, "We found something on the car that has been underperforming for the last 3 races, so I am really hoping when that is fixed that I will start getting better results."
we found something on the car that's not been underperforming for the last 3 races, so I'm really hoping when that's fixed, I'll start getting a bit better results. But yeah, I mean, I'm losing just over a tenth a lap with this issue we have. So I'm hoping in the next race it's fixed.
This revelation confirmed what many had suspected. Ferrari is grappling with a specific technical issue impacting their performance, particularly with Hamilton's car. The ride height problems facing Ferrari are multi-layered and complex. To understand them, we need to examine how the SF25 is behaving on track. Ferrari appears to have designed their 2025 Challenger with a slightly softer rear suspension approach compared to their rivals. While this offers advantages, particularly in low-speed corners where mechanical grip is crucial, it creates significant challenges elsewhere. When the car accelerates to higher speeds, the increased downforce pushes the rear down, causing the car to squat. This squatting motion leads to the plank making contact with the track surface, especially over bumps and through high-speed corners, resulting in excessive wear. In China, Hamilton's infringement specifically involved the rear skids being worn down too much, a clear indicator of this squatting issue. The team faces 2 potential solutions, neither ideal. First, stiffen the suspension. This would prevent the squatting, but at the cost of mechanical grip in slower corners. Second, raise the ride height. This would keep the plank from wearing down, but would reduce downforce across all speed ranges, making the car slower overall. For Japan, Ferrari opted for the second approach. Hamilton confirmed this strategy, stating, "We are running higher than we would like. I don't know if everyone is in the same boat in that respect, but particularly obviously, after the last race, we're a bit higher than we want to be." The most surprising element of Hamilton's post-Japan comments was his revelation about a specific issue affecting his car. When asked if Ferrari was confident they could solve the problem, Hamilton replied, "They are aware of it. They don't know what's caused it or why, so when the new component comes, it will be gone, and it will be the same with both cars. Considering that, I'm relatively happy with the race pace that I did have, given what I had. Otherwise, a good performance from the team. The engineers and the mechanics all did a good job."
I think it's just they're aware of it and they don't know what's caused, they don't know why. And so, as I said, when the new component comes, hopefully it'll be gone and it'll be the same across cars. Considering that, I'm relatively happy with the race pace that I did have, given what I had. But otherwise, good performance from the team, and I think myself and Ricardo, I think, did a really good job, and the engineers and mechanics also.
This statement suggests Ferrari has identified a component failure or design flaw specifically affecting Hamilton's car, costing him just over a tenth a lap. While this might not sound significant, in the ultra-competitive world of Formula One, a tenth of a second can represent several positions on the grid. Sky Sports F1 pundit Jacques Villeneuve interpreted Hamilton's comments as confirmation of wider issues. He said, "It gives credit to the rumor that there's something at the rear and they have to run it higher, and so on." So, it sounds like a stiffness issue somewhere. Something that's happening, and it looks like they are making a whole new bit because they are not sure which one is creating the issue. Fellow commentator Naomi Schiff added, "It does sound like they have an inherent problem with the car which needs to be solved before they can make real progress." Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur has been quick to dismiss speculation about a fundamental design flaw in the SF25. Instead, he portrays Ferrari's challenges as part of the normal development process all teams face with the current generation of cars. Vasseur explained, "We all want to run the car lower. We would all have more downforce in the situation for everybody, but there is a limit. The limit is bottoming, and the limit is the regulations. We are all spending the weekend on where is the limit and where can we run the car a bit lower, and then you are too low. It is the same for everybody, and we all know with this type of car, performance is a lot linked to the ride height." Vasseur emphasized, "This isn't a Ferrari-specific problem." He said, "It is true for us, it is true for everybody. It is true today, but it was true for the last 2 years. We were disqualified in Austin in 2023 with Mercedes because we were trying to reach the same point. It is not the characteristic of the car this year or the characteristic of the Ferrari. It is true for all the field." However, evidence suggests Ferrari's struggles in this area exceed those of their competitors. The contrasting performances in the Chinese sprint race, where Hamilton dominated, versus the Grand Prix, where both Ferraris were disqualified, tell a revealing story. Sprint races feature cars with significantly less fuel, around 40 kilograms compared to 110 kilograms for a full race, and cover only 1/3 the distance. This reduces the stress on the plank and allows teams to run lower ride heights without risking disqualification, precisely the configuration where the Ferrari appears to excel. Lewis Hamilton has finally identified a critical issue with his Ferrari SF25. The 7-time world champion revealed this after another disappointing performance at the Japanese Grand Prix. Could this be the turning point for his troubled Ferrari debut season? Hamilton finished a lackluster P7 at Suzuka, continuing his string of underwhelming results since joining the Italian team. But now he's pointing to a specific car problem that's been holding him back for 3 straight races.
We found something on the car that's not been underperforming for the last 3 races, so I'm really hoping when that's fixed, I'll start getting a bit better results. But yeah, I mean, I'm losing just over a tenth a lap with this issue we have, so I'm hoping in the next race it's fixed.
Hamilton's start with Ferrari has been anything but smooth. In Australia, he struggled through wet conditions in a car he'd only driven in dry testing. The result? A disappointing 10 peso finish. China showed brief promise when he converted a pole position into victory during Saturday's sprint race, but Sunday's main event saw him slump to P6 before both Ferraris were disqualified for failing post-race inspections. Japan offered no relief. Hamilton qualified P8 and finished P7, making one of the few overtakes of the race when he passed rookie Isaac Hajar. The championship standings tell a brutal story. Hamilton sits 8th, trailing leader Lando Norris by a massive 47 points after just 3 races. Ferrari's constructors' position isn't much better, with only 35 points as McLaren pulls away at the front. The big question: what exactly is this mysterious problem that's costing Hamilton precious time? While he didn't reveal all specifics, there are some crucial clues. Hamilton confirmed he's losing just over a tenth a lap due to this unidentified issue. Paddock whispers suggest the problem is focused on the rear of the car. Most concerning, Ferrari engineers know about the problem but don't know what's causing it.
I think it's just they're aware of it and they don't know what's caused, they don't know why. And so, as I said, when a new component comes, hopefully it'll be gone and it'll be the same across cars.
This suggests Ferrari is planning to introduce a new component for the Bahrain Grand Prix next weekend. But will it solve the problem without understanding its root cause? One of the most shocking revelations from Hamilton was the hint that his car might be performing differently than teammate Charles Leclerc's. Through the first 3 races, there's been a bit of a deficit between both sides of the garage on some elements of the car. Hamilton stated, "On my side, underperforming, so it's good to know." This explains why Leclerc has consistently outperformed Hamilton in the opening races. At Suzuka, Leclerc qualified and finished P4, outpacing Hamilton by 0.3 in qualifying and finishing 13 seconds ahead in the race. Is Hamilton suggesting that Leclerc's car isn't suffering from the same issues? Is one side of the garage getting better equipment? These questions remain unanswered, but Hamilton's comments raise serious concerns about consistency across the team. During Sky Sports F1's coverage of qualifying, commentator David Croft noted some visible issues with Hamilton's car. Looking at the Ferrari, it's not got the most stable rear end I would have thought. 1997. World champion Jacques Villeneuve agreed, adding, "I was about to say the Ferrari slides a fair amount. We're looking at the Ferrari. It's moving around, sliding around, heating up the tires. That's not a good sign for the longer run." This instability matches Hamilton's comments about underperformance happening at the rear of the car. The handling issues were evident to expert observers watching Hamilton's onboard footage. Another factor in Ferrari's struggles at Suzuka relates directly to Hamilton's disqualification in China. His P6 finish was erased from the record books after his SF25 was found to have worn the skid block more than regulations allow. To prevent another disqualification, Ferrari was forced to raise the ride height of both cars at Suzuka. This directly impacts performance in modern ground effect F1 cars, where running the car as low as possible is crucial for generating downforce. Yes, we are higher than what we would like, but I don't know if everyone is in the same boat in that respect, but particularly after the last race, we're a bit higher than we would want to be. That's usually the knock-on effect from the weekend like we had before. Hamilton explained. Hamilton also mentioned significant understeer that couldn't be dialed out during qualifying. These handling characteristics may be directly connected to the raised ride height and the mysterious rear-end issue. Beyond technical issues, Ferrari appears to be struggling with driver-engineer communication. Several tense radio exchanges were broadcast during the Japanese GP weekend. Hamilton had a particularly frustrated exchange with his race engineer about where he was losing time. Hamilton, "I'd really like some info on where I'm slow, mate." Engineer, turns 8, 9, 13, and 14. Hamilton, "Okay, but how much?" "Let me know." Engineer, "Yeah, I'll tell you. 1/10, turns 8 and 9. Charles Leclerc also had a terse interaction with his engineer. When suggested to change car settings, Leclerc bluntly replied, "Yes, you already told me. I don't do it for a reason." These communications prompted former world champion Damon Hill to tweet, "Hell, Ferrari radio comms, it's like married couples. Such breakdowns in communication only compound the technical difficulties Ferrari is facing. Hamilton was brutally honest about where Ferrari currently stands in the pecking order. I think we're probably the 4th fastest clearly at the moment. He quantified the gap to the front-running teams. The top guys probably have 3 or 4 tenths on us, so we've got a lot of work to bring upgrades for that. This assessment puts Ferrari behind McLaren, Red Bull, and Mercedes in race pace, not where the team expected to be after a strong end to the 2024 season. Leclerc shared Hamilton's concerns about the SF25's fundamental pace. He said,
"There wasn't anything more in the car, but I will say it's even more so disappointing when you do everything perfect and then you finish P4 and you are like 2-3 tenths off minimum." Positive is that we maximized our weekend, negative is that the pace is just not there for now.
With such a disappointing start, is Hamilton's dream of winning a championship in his first Ferrari season already finished? Surprisingly, 55% of Express Sport readers believe Hamilton still has a chance of securing the Drivers' Championship trophy with Ferrari this year. For that to happen, Hamilton would need rivals Norris and Verstappen to take points off each other while Ferrari rapidly improves. Team Principal Fred Vasseur remains optimistic, pointing to last season's development trajectory. Vasseur said, "Last year we were able to come back. The first couple of races, we were 6 tenths off on average, and we were able to come back during the season." Vasseur acknowledged the challenges ahead. "We need to keep the same approach. It doesn't matter the gap, it doesn't matter the results of today. We need to try to do a better job next week to improve the potential and also the extraction of the potential of the car, its operation. We have to improve everywhere." Hamilton's race in Japan was further compromised by strategic elements. The team had hoped for a safety car to gain an advantage, but the race ran without interruption. Hamilton said, "There was no safety car, so it didn't really make much difference. I think the medium was definitely better for the start of the race, especially in these cool conditions."